room because there's breakout rooms. I don't know how that works though.
Huh.
But so what prices did you both come to on the wage? Or what numbers?
So I actually proposed not to cut the wage.
Okay.
And the reason why is I feel like all they need to do really is to raise the quota. Because you know how they're getting all these bonuses and everything.
Yeah.
I feel like the wage is fine. It's not like too high or too low or anything like that. But where they're losing money the most is really the bonuses, and it's because the quota is too low.
Uh-huh.
I feel like if the quota is a little bit higher, then that will push that. I don't know. I'm trying to think about different aspect of it. It's like if you cut the wages, employees is not going to be happy.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just my proposal.
How about you, Corey?
That was tough because I felt like even if they lowered the wage a little bit, they're still above where the average for the other companies was.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And so they'd also lowered the wage in their other plants, and so I didn't think lowering the wage was really that big of a deal, if that makes sense. So I was thinking that what they proposed in the other plants, 9, was okay.
That was the high of the other plants.
Okay. I couldn't remember what they, going back and looking.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess the other option is just to cut out the bonus is another option.
Right.
Or like you said, raise the quota. Let's see.
So as I was reading through it, it looked like they were looking to lower the wage, but they weren't going to cut out the bonuses for anybody who was a current employee, if I read that right.
Right.
Did you guys read the debrief?
Was that
basically the result?
The one for, the result? No, I haven't read that yet.
I haven't read that either. And what I was thinking of is when you look at what happened in the 1983 one, they're saying that they settled in their other plants to lower the base rate up to $9 an hour, and in 1983 to raise the base rate to $10 an hour, which still puts them at the high end of what other companies make. And so that's kind of what I was thinking, kind of follow what they were doing with their other plants.
Right.
To me, didn't seem too far off.
Yeah, and it also said in the 1983 one that the owners of the company, I don't know if that's what it used for wording, but that they weren't willing to not have a cut down to somewhere close to the industry average.
Yeah, and that if they weren't willing to negotiate, they were going to pull the Me Too clause.
Yes.
And so that's why I thought, well, that's what they did at their other plants, which puts them above industry average, to be honest. And so I didn't think that was unreasonable.
Right. And that put them, so as I was looking at the Me Too clause, if you took what that clause said, you take the average of the top 3, that would be $8.58 an hour. So I mean, on my test portion or whatever, I put $8.75. I'm not completely set on that, but it seemed like that was right in that range, but it was even a little higher than what the Me Too clause would have pulled it to.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
nine's extremely reasonable as well, I felt.
Yeah, I thought that was very reasonable, especially when they said they'd raise everyone back to 10 the next year.
Yeah. So I guess we have with a reason then. I mean, we have the result. Then should we think of the things that we need to argue about, make it reasonable?
So I think our main thing is the Me Too clause that Corey brought up. To say that we are confident that the court would rule in our favor on the Me Too clause, and that we will invoke that if we have to.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that is probably our most powerful weapon, because they didn't rule it to say that it didn't count for that. And it's in there. It says we're going to pay industry average of the top three, and then if we go in offering 9, we're still offering above what the average of the top three is.
Yes, we're offering the highest of what the top 3 are.
Yeah. And so we're still keeping it, a good place to work.
Am I allowed to talk about the debrief? Did you guys ever read it? So I thought it's good to know to kind of think it backwards. So the result is the management made their final offer for $10 an hour, while labor's demands were $11.25 per hour. So anyway, but I personally feel like that $9 something, whatever it was, pretty reasonable. I think basically it only goes either way. Either you decrease your salary and stick with the normal bonuses, or you decrease the salary, wages, and then up the quota. So
that makes sense.
But
I think another thing to keep in mind, which makes it hard for us to have this discussion, is we're in 2018 talking 1983 numbers.
I know.
Whereas $9 an hour back then would be comparable to 14 or 15 now.
That's true.
Or something in that range.
And honestly, my husband's worked in factories. I have nephews working in factories now. They don't get paid all that much. 10 is actually about reasonable in a lot of the factories, at least here in Utah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the beginning of this study, which was 1978, is when my dad bought his first home for $23,000.
Oh man, don't
if
tell me
only,
that.
Right?
Okay, well, so do we want to go with the 9 then? You said they ended up settling at 10. Did it say what their...
I'm in 9.
Okay, did it say what their first offers were?
So hold on. That's the first offer. The second is like by 1984, Hormel, Hormel, but that's the original case actually, because they're talking about the original case, not like the one that we have right now. Their competitor had cut base rate to $8 an hour, but they are paying $10.69 per hour. That's what they did. And then, where is that? In March 1985, wages were set to $8.75 to be increased to $9.25 in July.
Okay.
So I think ours is actually pretty generous when you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, even when you just look at the average, I felt like 9 was still pretty generous. Mm-hmm. Though I can understand from a worker's point of view, that is a huge pay cut to take. $1.69 an hour, it would be painful.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I think it's so simple. When you work harder, then you get more bonuses.
Yeah. Do we need to have I guess when you go into negotiations, you normally have what your worst case scenario is. Are we supposed to come up with something like that for?
Probably we'll ask for 9, but we'll take
$9.75.
Yeah, something.
You mean $8.75?
And am I understanding this right when I read it all, that Jeff, you're going to go into the negotiations alone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
and we just
I thought the 3 of us went for every.
It sounded to me like just the group leader went and negotiated by himself. And we all hang out.
When they say, hey, now we can be all in the same room and they just talk, I think.
Okay.
So we're all there, but it's just me.
But you're the one. It's all on you.
Yeah, it's just all on you.
Okay.
I have to say, maybe you should actually ask more, and then we'll go down to 9. Doesn't make sense.
So start lower than 9.
Start lower than 9. Sorry.
So what did you determine? Did you say 865 was the average of the three?
858 was.
858. So maybe go in at 860.
Okay.
And just say, hey, look, this is the average of the top three. This is what we want.
And then go any lower don't go any higher than 940 or?
No, 925.
925. Okay.
All right. Sure.
Or we walk.
Or we walk.
Okay. Well, I'll pause this one and then I'll go
Then
open
we'll
the other room.